So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, students. And this week's video is going to be about your quiz number 6, about APA in-text citations. So when we use APA stands for American Psychological Association. And so we use APA in order to give credit to the researcher who did the research and to avoid plagiarism. And we use APA every time we use numerical data such as statistics, numbers, percentages, and any kind of unknown knowledge. And we use in-text citations inside the body of our text, that hence the word in text, inside the text. And then we use reference citations at the end of our paper. And so when we use in-text citations for direct quotes, that is when we quote verbatim, then we use the author's name, the date, page number, and quotation marks. Then when we do a paraphrase quote, that's when we summarize the quote in our own words. Then we just use the author, the date, and you don't need a page number and you don't need a paragraph number. So let's get into the quiz. According to Miller, dogs are the best pets ever. In order for this in-text citation to be correct, it needs an in-text citation. It needs date and page number. So here you have, according to Miller, you have the author. Then you need to include the date and page number. There are several ways to write this in-text citation. You can say Miller, and then you have the date, states, dogs are the best pets ever, and then you put the page number afterwards. Or you could just write in the entire quotation, dogs are the best pets ever, and then you put in the author, the date, and the page number. If you just have dogs are the best pets ever without the in-text citation, then you're committing plagiarism. So if you just state the fact without author, date, that's what this says. So an example of a correctly cited in-text citation is the following. According to Miller, 2021, dogs can be trained to follow commands. They are able to sit, stay, heel, and come upon the owner's command, page 146 to 147. The reason why this is correct is because this in-text citation contains an author name, date, and page number. A correct example of a paraphrase quote is the following. Dogs love to learn tricks and go on walks. So here what I did was I summarized. This is a direct quote, and then I summarized dogs are able to sit, stay, heel, and come, and then I summarized that direct quote into a paraphrase quote in which I said dogs love to learn tricks and to go on walks. And then here you have author, page number, author, date, paragraph number. A paraphrase quote is when you put the citation in your own words. This is a correct quote because it has an author name, date, and paragraph number. Use paragraph numbers for websites with no page numbers. Every time you use an outside reference in your paper to avoid plagiarism and to give credit for the researcher doing the research, you need to cite the source. At the end of your paper, we prepare a list of references so that readers know where you got your information from. If you are citing a video reference, then you need to notate the timestamp of when the video was created. You should always include the timestamp of the video in your citation so the reader knows if the video is too old to use as a reference. If the citation does not have a date, you can notate it as ND, which stands for no date. If there are two authors, you can use an ampersand, which is this symbol. So Smith, Patrick, and Ho, Yvonne, and then you would put in the date, and then you would put in, if it's a, and then you would put in your page number. That pretty much is then that would become your in-text citation. However, if there are more than 3 authors, we notate it with et al. So you would have Smith, Patrick, Ho, et al. Et al. Means it's like etc. And then you would put in your date. Okay, then you can put in your date and your 2022, for instance. An in-text citation includes the author's name and year of publication. If the citation references a specific part of the resource, you should also include a locator, a page number, or a paragraph number. So you always, so this is the same thing. It's just saying that when you use an in-text citation, you need the author name, the date, and the page number. An in-text citation this just repeats the same thing. An in-text citation in APA includes the author name, publication year, and a locator, which is the same thing as saying you need the author name, date, and page number. So here you have your week 6 practice quiz. So is the sentence cited correctly? According to Miller, dogs are the best pets ever. The answer here is no, because you're missing the date. You're supposed to have 2022, page 22. And since that's missing, so then if you only have according to Miller, dogs are the best pets ever, then that's the answer to that is no, because you're missing your date and the page number. What about this one? Is this one cited correctly? According to Miller, 2021, dogs can be trained to follow commands. They are able to sit, stay, heel, and come upon the writer's command, the owner's command. And so here you have your author, you have your date, you have your page number. So yes, the answer is yes. This sentence is cited correctly. Dogs love to learn tricks and go on walks. So then here you have the author name, the date, and the paragraph number. Obviously this was a website. So the answer to that is yes. It's cited correctly, and you could tell this is a paraphrase quote because there are no quotation marks. If there are quotation marks, then you know that was a direct quote. Direct quotes have both page number and quotation marks, while paraphrase quotes do not need quotation marks and just need the author name and date. If you use an outside reference in your paper, you need to create a citation for it. Yes. So if you are using numbers or any kind of statistical reference, an outside source, you have to cite it in order to give the researcher credit. At the end of your paper, you must list all of your citations in a reference page. And the answer to that is yes. At the end of the paper, that's when you put in the whole thing. That's when you put the author name, the date, then you put in the article name, publication name, the date that you retrieved your website, and your web address. If you are citing a video reference, you should notate the timestamp of the video with the timestamp. The answer to that is yes. When you cite a video, you need to know when the video took place so that you know whether or not that video is out of date. Because remember, anything 10 years or older is considered obsolete and too old and not a credible source for your paper. If the notation does not have a date, you can notate it with ND. So the answer to that is yes, because ND stands for no date. If there are 2 authors, you notate the authors with an ampersand. That's correct. So I gave the example of Smith, Patrick, and Yvonne Ho. So here you have yes. If your reference has 3 or more authors, you notate it with et al. So here you would have, so that answer to that is yes. So then you would have Smith, Patrick, Ho, Yvonne, and more people. So et al. An in-text citation includes the author's name and year of publication. If the citation references a specific part of the reference, you should also include a locator, a page number, or paragraph number. And so here the answer to that is yes. And so here are the answer key to quiz 6. So if you're not sure of any of the answers, you could always look it up. So if you have any questions about in-text citations, you can always email me.